They used to say, people stick with their own kind. Back then it made sense. You compared yourself to your neighbors, classmates, co-workers, the people inside your fence. And within that fence, everything felt close. Jealousy, pride, shame. They were grounded in a world you could reach. But now, the fences are gone. Social media erased them. The whole world lives in your screen now. People you once had the privilege of not knowing. You now see, whether you asked for it or not. Even if you don't follow them, the algorithm keeps showing you people who are younger, richer, smarter, better, more everything. And so now we live in constant comparison. The competition is endless. The standards are invisible. And focusing on your own pace, almost impossible. Comparison isn't the enemy. We're built to compare. It's how we survived. Are they faster than me? Am I falling behind? Do I belong? It was instinct, biological, necessary. But this, what we do now, isn't that. We're not comparing real lives anymore. We're comparing our full, messy story to someone else's highlight reel. While I'm lying in bed, someone's at the gym. Someone else is flying across the world. Another is pitching their startup. And every single day, those moments show up. Again and again and again. Back then, I wouldn't have known. Now, I can't not know. And it's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I'm insecure. It's because the system was built this way. A system that profits off desire. That sells you the dream of becoming like them. That keeps reminding you of who you're not. And it gets worse. The standard keeps changing. It's not enough to have a good job, a stable income, a peaceful life. Now the bar is be young, be attractive, be rich, be fun, be all of it at the same time. It's impossible, but they teach us to chase it anyway. This isn't survival instinct anymore. This is existential confusion, and it's exhausting. These days, young people feel tired, not from doing too much, but from feeling too much. There are days when you've done nothing, yet you still feel drained. And what do people say? You're still young. How can you be so tired? When we were your age, we just pushed through. They're not wrong. Life was hard back then too. But the kind of exhaustion we feel now, they've never known it. They burned out from real failures. We burn out from imagined failure, replayed thousands of times on every scroll. We live in a world where every success you'll never have is displayed on your feed. Daily, endlessly, automatically. And when your day ends without any progress, you don't just feel tired, you feel like you're falling behind. Then the older generation says, "You have so many options. We didn't have half of what you do." They think that means we should feel lucky, but they don't see that too many options can feel like too many ways to fail. Every path you didn't choose becomes another version of success you missed. So even when you try, you never feel like it's enough. This isn't laziness. It's not weakness. It's what happens when you live in a world that never lets you rest from possibility. There's too much to chase, and no clear reason to chase any of it. So you pause, you collapse, you go numb, and then you blame yourself for not trying harder. But that numbness isn't failure. It's a message. Your mind, your body, your spirit, they're not breaking. They're speaking, and what they're saying is, this isn't how humans are meant to live. So here's the first step. Understand that this powerlessness isn't just yours. It's not a personality flaw. It's not about discipline. It's the shape of the world right now. And knowing that won't fix everything, but it might be the beginning of something kinder. We've forgotten how to stop, or maybe stopping just doesn't feel allowed anymore. Every time you try to rest, someone else is getting ahead. While I sleep, someone's running, someone's networking, Someone's already closing their next big deal. And all those moments. They show up on my phone, constantly, loudly, perfectly timed to make me feel like I'm falling behind. There used to be this idea of work-life balance. Now, rest feels like a red flag. When someone asks, "What are you doing right now?" and you say, "Just resting." Why does that feel like a confession? So we keep going, and going, and going. But it doesn't lead to accomplishment. It leads to collapse. Older folks ask, "Why are you all so quick to burn out?" When I was your age, I stayed at the same job for 10 years. Sure, but they've never lived a single day being compared to tens of thousands of strangers in real time. We don't get to live at our own pace. We live under the pressure of everyone else's pace. The highlight reels of strangers become the rhythm of our inner life. If I pause, even for a moment, it feels like failure. But we're not machines. We don't have infinite batteries. We weren't built to run like this. We need to reclaim the right to rest, to do nothing, to be okay with doing nothing. Because if you keep running without stopping, you'll forget why you were running at all. Life is limited. Time, energy, attention, it all runs out. But the world we live in now refuses to accept that. Everywhere you look, you're met with limitless expectations, limitless success, limitless ambition, limitless growth, limitless versions of yourself you're supposed to become. We're told, you can be anything. You can do everything. It sounds empowering, but it's not. Because when I don't become all of those things, I don't just feel disappointed, I feel defective. Too many options doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like 100 ways to fail. Every choice I make feels like I'm closing the door on a better version of me. So no matter what I do, I wonder if I chose wrong. And I carry that doubt with me everywhere. Older generations say, "You have time. You're still young. The world is yours." They mean well, but they don't see that telling someone they have unlimited time only makes it harder to choose what to do with it. When everything feels possible, it also feels like you're personally responsible for every dream you didn't chase. That's the curse of this era. We don't just feel behind, we feel broken by design. There used to be clear checkboxes, a good school, a steady job, a home. Now, even success feels blurry, because someone younger, faster, richer is always one scroll away. So satisfaction? It disappears. No matter where you land, it never feels like enough. But life is finite, and that's not a flaw, that's the gift. Because when you accept your limits, you stop running in circles. You stop trying to be everything. You start being yourself. So no, you don't have to achieve it all. You don't have to live like anyone else. And you, just as you are right now, are enough. We've never been more connected. Right now, someone's watching my story. I'm scrolling through someone else's life. Likes, replies, tags. They're all happening in real time. It should feel like community, but somehow we've never felt lonelier. Why? Because we're not building relationships. We're counting interactions. A like isn't love. A comment isn't comfort. A follower isn't family. The digital world is loud, but most of it is echo. And the scariest part is, I can't stop performing. The more I share, the more I feel the need to keep up the act. So yes, I'm surrounded by people. But no, I can't show them who I really am. And that kind of loneliness, where you're never truly seen, runs deeper than silence. Older people say, you have everything. Social media, friends, freedom. How could you possibly feel alone? They mean it, but they don't realize. Today's loneliness doesn't come from being alone. It comes from being surrounded and still unseen. We compare before we connect. We brand ourselves before we speak. We edit our lives before we share them. By the time someone knows you, they've only met version 3.5, not the messy, unfiltered human you actually are. And that kind of isolation is brutal. You can sit in a room full of friends and still wonder, who here actually knows me? Yes, we're connected, but also completely untethered. And in that paradox, our identity fractures. The need for belonging becomes a performance, and we start to forget the real question. Not how many people are around me, but can I still be myself when no one's looking? There used to be fences. Your neighborhood was your fence, your school, your job. Within that space, you compared, competed, and belonged. Now, there are no fences. Social media tore them down. The whole world moved into your pocket. Every kind of life, every kind of success, every kind of better, right there in front of you. And somewhere along the way, who you are started to matter less than how you appear. You stop living your own rhythm. You start living someone else's algorithm. Older generations don't really get this. They say things like, just focus on your own life. Don't care so much about what others are doing. But they don't understand that in our world, comparison isn't a choice. It's the default. You'd have to delete the whole system to opt out. So what now? We build new fences. Not by disconnecting completely, but by choosing where we belong, by deciding who gets access to us, and by choosing what version of success actually means something to us. It's not about quitting the race. It's about asking, is this even a race I want to run? Everyone's rushing south. Maybe I want to walk north. Everyone's chasing big and fast. Maybe I want small and deep. That's how fences are rebuilt. Not to shut the world out, but to keep yourself in. The world will always be endless, but your life is not. And that's not a limitation. It's your freedom. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to keep up. You just have to come back to yourself. Because this life is already happening right now. And it's not meant to be optimized. It's meant to be lived.